Hello. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to my front seat dialogue. Today, I just want to have a conversation about the present in Nigeria. Last week was my birthday, and I thank you all for all the wonderful greetings, felicitations, and good wishes. And I turned 49 last Saturday. It struck me that this was 2020, a very important year in the history of Nigeria. And I don't know if people note what has happened in 2020. Not the coronavirus, not the pandemic that has shut down the world, and something that is we can't even explain what has happened so far. But for me, it's an important year because it is the year that the independence children, those born in 1960, this is the year they retire from the public service. All the people born in 1960, by December this year, will have exited the public service. They will have turned 60. And what that means is that police commissioners, AIGs, DIGs, generals in the army, permanent secretaries, directors, deputy directors, the whole gamut of what in the past 5 years has managed Nigeria's economy, Nigerians' political life, will be effectively leaving the public service. And what that means is that people of my generation, those born immediately after the war, will be exiting precisely 10 years, 11 years from now. Now, the independence children, what have they done? What have they done for Nigeria? Forget about our political leaders. These are the people that took decisions. These are the people that went to government secondary schools, federal government colleges, went to youth service when they finished and got a job. What Nigeria are they handing over? They are handing over to the people coming behind them in Nigeria, where nobody is going to any federal government college outside his state. They are handing over to us in Nigeria, where nobody is going to youth service outside of his state. They are handing over in Nigeria, where no young graduate is sure of any form of employment. So, effectively speaking, the independence children have failed Nigeria. They are leaving Nigeria in tatters. The University of Nigeria, the Ahmadu Bello University, the Obafemi Awolowo University, the University of Lagos they attended, and not the university they are handing over to us. As permanent secretaries, as directors, they took decisions that saw their children go off to schools abroad and in private schools while the public schools died. They took decisions that did not allow us to build hospitals in Nigeria, and COVID expanded. In fact, COVID showed the false foundation of Nigeria healthcare. COVID exposed us all, and we came to the conclusion that Nigeria is not working. So now that the independence children are going, those of us that are ascending the offices, those of us in 50 years, 49, 48, 51, are going into the offices as directors, deputy directors. We are going into the office as permanent secretaries, chief executives of banks and parastatals. What Nigeria do we want to hand over to? It's all well and good when we discuss restructuring. It's all well and good when we discuss Biafra. It's all well and good when we discuss regional government. The question is, today, the fierce urgency of now, as Martin Luther King talked of. That fierce urgency of now is that the children born in 1999, when this democracy started, have just turned 21 this year. The children that are in our village schools are not going to get any good education. They can't even take WAEC this year because we don't have the technology platforms for our public schools. Our universities are comatose. Our professors have made no effort in helping us in the COVID era. So the question remains, in that fierce urgency of now, before that restructuring happens, before that Biafra happens, before that Arewa Republic happens, before that Sharia takes hold in the whole north of Nigeria, the question is, what Nigeria are we going to be handing over? Because even if we were to restructure Nigeria today, even if we were to create all the republics out of Nigeria, where are the human resources to run those economies? Where are the human resources to run an economy that can generate livelihood for its teeming population? So the question for me is not a question about the tomorrow. Let those who have the eyes for vision, who have the gift of prophecy, talk about tomorrow. I want to talk about today. I want to ask, of the $34 billion that Nigeria is going to be budgeting this year, how many of it will get back to people? In how many cities of Nigeria do we have running water? When the children that were born of the 1960s were born, Nigeria had running waters in most of our cities. In how many cities of Nigeria today do we have sanitary inspectors who ensure that our cities are clean? How are we going to manage our environment as desertification is creeping in from the north at an alarming rate, as erosion is eroding all of southeast, as we can see the despoliation of the Niger Delta? Which environment are we retreating to when we get to that future we are talking about? I want to ask my generation, those born after the war, let us step forward. Let us remove the toga of fear and become less of social media critics. Let us stop walking around defending failure in government under our various partisan umbrellas. Let us step forward and talk about the fierce urgency of now. Let us talk about how the children in our community schools will go to school and learn something meaningful. Let us discuss about how we can affiliate our universities to global universities around the world and ensure that Nigerian degrees and diplomas can be utilized to work both offshore and onshore. Let us talk about our healthcare system, that all our senatorial zones in Nigeria should have at least one functional medical center, that every state should take up an area of specialty and build a specialist hospital for that in Nigeria. If we do not do that, and that's a big if we do not deal with the fierce urgency of now, with an economy that is growing at 1% per 2% annually, we're going to be in big trouble. And that trouble for me is not the trouble of the rich versus the poor, because the poor will definitely rise up against the rich. It's going to be our descent into our fault lines. Our fault lines are deep. The wounds are open. The time is now for us to come back and make it possible for somebody to travel from Enugu to Sokoto for youth service again, for people to go back to federal government colleges around Nigeria, to make it possible that in Enugu our water will run again. In Oka there will be pipe-borne water. In Yenogua there will be roads and there will be water for people to drink. It is sad that our conversation, our discussion about Nigeria, it's about what divides us. And these are very serious issues. Nigeria needs issues of inclusion. But we need to have the common conversation. What is the role of a state government? Chapter 2 of our Constitution made it clear what the purpose of government is about. Our government officials, both governors, ministers, presidents, swear an oath saying to subscribe to the fundamental principles and fundamental objectives and directive principles of the Nigerian state. So this is a clarion call, and it is a call for a generation that is about to go into the public sector, because every time we talk about our political leaders, we miss a very important point, that leadership is the whole government. It is the gamut of the civil servant who can look the president and say, Mr. President, you cannot do this, the Constitution does not allow it. Mr. Governor, you cannot withdraw this amount of security votes because it is not in the budget. That day should come sooner than later, because we should live in the present, in the fierce urgency of now. As we plan about how to devolve power, as we plan about how to restructure Nigeria, as we plan about how to break up Nigeria, my question is, when we do it, where will be the human resource that will run these entities? What resources are we going to use to make sure that that individual, that my child, that your child, who is now going to secondary school, who is now going to university, does not just end up in private schools and in foreign schools? That our public schools will become a home for Nigerian students. So, my fellow patriots, I just ask of you, let us step forward without fear. Let us stop playing second fiddle. The mantle of leadership has fallen on us. The independence children have disappointed. Let us not disappoint. Thank you very much.